Today's adventure takes us to Peekaboo and the White Wave. Both are basically on the same road, which is a long, dirt, sandy road that, as they say, requires four-wheel drive and high clearance. They even have signs up to remind people all-wheel drive is not four-wheel drive. Most of the tours take those ATVs, and that's the start. Don't know what that raven means. Where are we at?
We are either at Peekaboo.
That's where we're at.
Known as Red Rock Slot Canyon. You forgot that part.
That's right. Either one. Here we enter the Slot Canyon. It's spectacular. There are approximately 3 connected slot canyons that you hike through, all quite similar, but all spectacular as well. Peekaboo by Kanab, or also known as
Red Rock Canyon. A couple days and stay in Kanab.
This is more of Peekaboo Slot Canyon. Oh, it just gets cooler and cooler.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, it's much cooler temperature in here.
I hope they heard that literally and figuratively. Make me sound smart.
And if you wonder who was making that smart comment, let me turn around.
I'm back. I
He's
didn't really
back.
win anywhere.
Yep, I hear people in the distance. Though the road sign on Highway 89 identifies this as Peekaboo Slot Canyon, there's also another Peekaboo Slot Canyon near Escalante, Utah. So, to not confuse the two, a lot of people call this Red Canyon or Red Rock Canyon. But just be aware, if you're going to go to Peekaboo, that you get the right one. This one is just an easy hike, not too narrow, not going to get claustrophobic in it. Where if you go and hike the 3 slot canyons at the other Peekaboo, Dry Fork, Peekaboo, and Spooky, you've got some climbing to do, scrambling up about 15 feet, down about 15 feet, and a slot canyons that narrow down to about 10 inches. So this is a much easier experience. To get there, you do drive through some thick sand, so you either need four-wheel drive, or you can go with one of the tour groups, and they typically charge about $100 just to come see this canyon. And if you want to up it to about $150, they'll also take you on the same tour to Dinosaur Tracks or to the White Wave that I'll also cover in this. Dinosaur Tracks was in my previous video, but that's an easy drive, so anyone could do that on their own, where if you don't have the four-wheel drive, the White Wave or Peekaboo would be a difficult challenge. Peekaboo Slot Canyon is not a national park or state park, so there's no fee if you do it on your own. You can just drive up there, basically right to the entrance, and hike it. These holes are the stairway carved by the ancestral Pueblans 800 to 1,000 years ago. They would hide their grain up in those areas to protect them from the rodents. Here's Kelly with more. Okay, Kelly, you're on video.
So these little slots cut into the rock, these little holes, are called Moki steps. They were put in by the indigenous people that lived here, I don't know how long ago. And you'd say, well, how did they get up there? If they were only, their average height was 5 feet tall. You're saying, how did they get up there? Well, at the time these steps were made, they figured that the soil level was about 6 feet higher, 5 feet higher than it is now. And they used those areas to store grain. So they're ancient granaries. And there used to be a couple ruins up there, but big floods washed out the ruins.
Well, here's Kelly, the old guy,
Trying to go down a
coming down the little steps here. Isn't that nice? They put those in here just for us
just
old
for the old
geezers.
guys.
That two-step ladder is the most difficult part of the entire hike. Generally, it's very flat. I think the tours give people about an hour, which is plenty of time in the canyon.
Okay, we're both on it. Give it the thumbs up.
Oh, we're on it? How do you know we're on it?
It's going.
Can it hear us?
Yeah.
Hello up there. Jerry's flying a drone. Am I bald? Let me see. Let me see the top of my head.
Yeah, you're bald. And now
Oh, man.
we're going. I mean, this is great.
All right, Joey Paul, this is where I'm taking you. Four-wheel drive to get here, absolutely awesome. Nobody here. That's Jerry ahead.
I'm nobody.
This is Red Rock Canyon Slot, or also known as Peekaboo, one of several Peekaboos in Utah. And just as you can see it, spectacular.
We're done. Let's go back.
It's not a loop trail, so once you finish the last slot canyon, you just turn around and walk back through them again. Though there's plenty of tour companies that come here, we found plenty of time, as you can see, to take pictures and enjoy the canyon without a bunch of other people around. Unlike the experience of Antelope Canyon, there's not 1,000 other people lined up to hike through it at the same time you are. Once we were finished with Peekaboo Slot Canyon, it's about a 4-mile drive through the sandy wash and sandy roads to get to the White Wave. So there's where we're headed.
Hello, this is your director on this fine old man's hike. Of course, Jerry Fife orchestrates everything. Jerry, tell us, where are we?
We are going to the White Wave. We've been to Peekaboo, and just about 4 miles away is a White Wave. Beautiful.
And how many people are here?
Counting you and me,
Yes.
2.
Now it's pan over. Well, there's nothing to pan over. Panning back to you. And handing it off. Just in time because...
How come it's still going?
That's what Kelly gets for not shutting the camera off. We hear everything. But on to the White Wave. On this trip, we entered the lottery for the wave, $9 that we'll never see again. And we went to the new wave, and now we're at the White Wave. I don't know if all these locations are capitalizing on the popularity of the wave to attract tourists.
You're going to have to go up there. This is the White Wave. At least the start of it.
But there's still cool sights to see. And unlike the wave, there's no fee and no permit required to go there. And there's basically no one there when you get there, so you can enjoy the place all to yourself. As with the other locations called the Wave, it's basically just the sandstone and looks kind of like a wave. I should have mentioned a minute ago when you saw the screen go black, that was my 360 camera running out of space on the SD card. So these pictures of Kelly walking across the wave are with my cell phone. You can see where it gets its name. I just wonder when all these places were named, were they before or after the other wave? But again, these don't require a permit, free to go to, and if you've already gone to Peekaboo, it's just a short drive over here, so you might as well do it because it's a cool place to see. Now, Kelly thought these were fossilized sand dollars, but upon further inspection, we don't believe that to be the case. I think it's just where some moss or other things grow on there, and this looks like some animal print, but it was actually Kelly trying to create an animal print. I guess that was to make up for his misidentification of those sand dollar fossils.
There's lots of cool stuff here.
At any rate, this again isn't a long hike, and even though you're hiking uphill through sand and rock, it's not a particularly challenging hike.
If I'm right, well, I don't know. I'm not right. I'm not going to say anything. I don't
It's
know.
on video, so
No. Well, I'm not right, but I assume there's some fault lines in some of those, but I just don't know. I could show you real fault lines in Sedona. Can't do it here.
we can show you someone who makes lots of
Faults?
faults. Better zoom out a little bit.
We enjoyed exploring the site, and it was great to have it all to ourselves. But now we're heading back to Kanab, where we're meeting up with my brother, Richard, and Lark for a bite to eat at Big Al's. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.